kind of just want to jump straight into it. We're just going to have a quick conversation about the games that I've got left to cover because I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be streaming any more of them. So let's jump straight into the pyramid, and I'll just explain, as you've probably heard many times over, basically what's going on. This is the Lovecraftian horror pyramid. This is the central point of my thesis. This is more or less what I'm doing to it. I'm playing a whole lot of games and trying to place them on the pyramid as a sort of scale. So this is a peak Lovecraftian everything. This side is aesthetic, this side is horror, and down here is whatever it is, it's basically not Lovecraftian, or it is not Lovecraftian at all. This doesn't mean it isn't a good game. Sucker for Love is absolutely at the bottom of this scale, and it is easily one of the best games that I played. It was so good. Go play it. It was great. So, this is not a statement on quality, it's just a statement on content. But bringing it back here, like, these are all the games that I have played so far, and this over here are all the games that I have actually played so far and judged, with the exception of these three and this one, which will be going on soon. I've got a conclusion for Overture. It is 9.5, but I want to finish Black Death before I put it up here, just in case it changes my opinion in a significantly meaningful way. But I don't think it will, because I'm trying to judge every game on its own benefits, so there shouldn't, in principle, be anything about the second game that would make me reevaluate the first game. But I want to play both just to be sure. So I'm just waiting a little bit before I put it up. Quake, I am absolutely going to play. Soma is another game I'm absolutely still going to play. I've got, they're both, I have multiplayer options for them, and I'm going to play them multiplayer. So Quake and Soma should be appearing on this list. And Strange Horticulture, I'm absolutely going to keep playing because I freaking love that game. I'm not far enough in to determine what its score will be, but I will. So, if I add Soma to this list, I will have played 43 games in total. I will have 43 games in total on this pyramid. And my objective is to get to 50. And that is where we need to start talking about the remaining games. So, I'm sure I can find some additional games, but these are the remaining games that I have not yet checked. Now, some of them haven't been released. Blood Omen, Book of Hours, Dredge, these games have not been released, so I can't play them. At least not for a few more weeks and or even months. They may not even get released before my thesis is due. I believe that Dredge, at least, is due in a month. I think it's supposed to drop in March, but it could get delayed. Or I may just have that date time wrong anyway. So, there's a good chance that some of them won't make the cut. Darkwood, I don't own yet. And Subnautica, I also don't own yet. But here are some of the expected playtime hours for these games. Now, looking at these, Cult of the Lamb, I decided to actually, normally I go into these games completely blind. I don't want to see, what type of game it is. I don't want to see what they're doing with it, because I'm trying to have as little information going in as possible, except that someone somewhere believes it is a Lovecraftian game, and therefore I should look at it. So that's what I was doing. But I decided, okay, I'm in the last ones. I really need to make my focus, and really need to choose what games. I need to be much more selective. Because some of these games are 40 hours long, or 38 hours long, or 27 hours long. And that is a lot of time I'd have to commit to these games, which is going to be very hard for me, because a lot of these games are single player. And as I have commented a number of times, I'm not actually a big fan of single player games. I actually really love multiplayer games. A big part of why I started streaming is so that I had the potential to interact with people who were watching the streams. And sometimes people absolutely did jump on and interact, but because I can't maintain a regular schedule. Like right now, I'm streaming. It is 2:30 a.m. Um, and no one of my regular audience is able to watch right now. Everybody who's part of my audience in Malta or the UK, these are their work hours, so they're probably not watching. And for people in Australia, it's 2:30 a.m. They're asleep, or they should be. So this isn't like for games that I don't inherently enjoy or that I might not inherently enjoy. This is the wrong time to play because I won't get an audience. I won't get that little bit of multiplayer experience and that little bit of back and forth that'll make me, that'll enthuse me. That'll increase my joy in playing these games. Um, so single player games, they're not inherently going to be out, but they're much more likely to be something I'll watch as a let's play and review that rather than play it myself, unless I have an audience. And I can't afford to just wait around and go, oh yeah, if I happen to be conscious, so my disability, hang on, let me pull it up. So if you don't know, I spontaneously lose cognitive and motor functions for hours at a time. And it has happened while streaming before. I usually try and only stream like, oh, I've already had an episode, cool. I can probably stream now with absolutely no issue. And other times I just risk it. It's like somebody else is checking up on me, and if I have an episode or something, they can just shut it down or whatever. Just freaking close my computer, bam, etc. And that's great, but the problem is simply, again, if these games aren't bringing me joy because they're not my normal cup of tea, then I'm not going to enjoy playing them, which means I'm probably going to notice less because I'm not enjoying it as much as I can and or should. Which isn't to say I don't like horror games. I do actually quite like horror games. I'm just not a fan of the single-player experience. I am much more into multiplayer. So yeah, all of that is a big reason why I started looking into how long are these games to play, and I started looking into what are these games like what genre are they? So for example, just going to jump ahead of where I wanted to talk about, but it's relevant. Fate to Silence. Fate to Silence is a horror survival sandbox world-building game. Now, I like sandbox games. I do. But again, I like the multiplayer. I love playing Minecraft with friends. I don't like playing Minecraft on my own. I love playing The Forest with friends. I do not like playing The Forest on my own. So, Fate to Silence is entirely single player. There's no multiplayer. This is not what I enjoy in a game. And it would be very tiresome for me to try and play through this game. Conan the Barbarian was another great example. I was playing that, and I was playing it with friends, but because those friends wanted to do their own thing, it was really hard for me to try and hunt down, find, and explore the Lovecraftian content, because they wanted to play the game that they wanted to play, which was the main game. And it's not as fun to play a multiplayer game with someone who's trying to dissect the game, especially in a sandbox scenario where you're taking away their precious time and resources to go and explore this little thing that isn't going to help their games. So, granted, I had good friends there playing the game. Ultimately, the reason Conan got scrapped was actually because there was basically nothing. Literally, it's just like, oh yeah, and it mentions Yogg. That's it. They don't even really say Yogg Sothoth. They just say Yogg. That's it. So that's why it ended up in the discounted bin. But, yeah, with Fate to Silence, there could be a lot of Lovecraftian content. There could be very, very little. I would rather watch Let's Plays of people exploring the lore in order to find that than to spend 40 hours playing this game that I don't enjoy without a multiplayer experience. And imagine if I tried to do something like, oh, cool, Monday nights I'm going to try and play the game when I've got an audience. Or, Monday nights, Tuesday nights, whatever. Great. If I'm not conscious, I lose a week. if my sleep schedule gets thrown out of whack, I lose a week. I only have so many weeks left until it's due, so I would much rather, and it is a much better plan for my thesis for me to just watch a let's play of it. And now, another problem is games like Song of Horror. From what I understand, from what little I understand, Song of Horror has a lot of hidden lore. And if I played through it myself, just doing a one-time run, I would miss most of that lore. Same thing with Bloodborne. With Bloodborne, I had to watch a lore playthrough and talk to people about Bloodborne in order to create the score that it's got. Like, it has a huge learning curve and skill curve in just to be good at the game enough to play through it, but there's so much hidden lore that you have to piece together that if you haven't played the game multiple times, if you do not invest into it enough, you'll miss almost all the content, really. And Song of Horror, what little I looked into, apparently has, not nearly to the same extent as Bloodborne, but it apparently has a lot of that sort of lore detail that's hidden, that you have to find, that you already have to know where it is to a certain extent to find it, or at least have already played the game before and explored the game to find it. And I don't have the time to do that. It's also exclusively single player, so that runs into not quite the same problems I had with Fate to Silence, like, because I might really freaking enjoy playing Song of Horror. I might love it. It might be a great game for me to play, but if I'm likely to miss out on a lot of the content that I actually need to look into for my thesis, it might not be the best choice. Certainly there's an argument to be made for, I could do my thesis on the basis of, this is what the average player experiences. Absolutely, I absolutely can take that angle. But, if my skill level is not up to par, that could also be a problem. So, again, Song of Horror is likely, not guaranteed, but likely going to be another game that I will actually watch Let's Plays of rather than play it myself. I'm still thinking of playing through it, but me playing through it is going to be dependent on a few other factors. So I'm still likely to do it, but not, like, I'm equally likely to not. Then we get to SCP Secret Lab. I mean, that's 40 hours. That is a lot of time to commit to this game that could end up being in the same category as Fate to Silence or the same category as Song of Horror. And that is definitely not a game, like, at a 40-hour playtime, if I have to play it twice, there goes a lot of time, just a lot of time. And then we get to Pathologic, and from what I understand about Pathologic, it's similar to what I said about Song of Horror. So, that pretty much eliminates pretty much all the games that I've got left. I've pretty much only got Strange Horticulture, which I'm loving. I am absolutely going to keep playing Strange Horticulture. I almost don't actually care how long that will take, because it is such a nice, relaxing game for me to play. But I wanted to do Strange Horticulture between other games. So just like, oh yeah, I've tried playing this one. Yeah, I'm going to switch to just having a relaxing stream for a little while. Jump to Scorn. So Scorn, like Penumbra before it. I should actually remove that from there, because I have actually done pretty much... Well, I haven't done the Penumbras yet. I'm still doing Penumbra Black Death. Like, I am... Like, so Scorn and Penumbra Black Death are great examples. If you watch my previous streams, you'll see the problems that I was having with them. Either I was running into sections of the game that were like, yeah, you've actually trapped yourself, you can't escape this, which means as much as I actually was enjoying the game, the fact that I have to commit so many more hours is a problem. Whereas Scorn is, I just got stumped, and the options are either sit down, pick up a walkthrough, and use the walkthrough, or watch a Let's Play. And at the end of the day, I think it's better for me to watch a Let's Play than to use the walkthrough. Because the entire point of playing, aside from, get content on my channel. The entire point of playing is to try and get a little bit more of that experience, and investing in a walkthrough is basically like saying, yeah, you're done with the experience. Now everything that you can possibly get from this is equivalent to watching a Let's Play, and the Let's Play will be quicker. So I need to maximize the speed. That's what I need to focus my attention on. So looking at this list, the only games that are really left are Cult of the Lamb, Quake, and Soma. Now, Soma and Quake are both multiplayer games, and I have people lined up to play multiplayer with, so long as I'm conscious. So I need to prioritize those, or I can. What I want to do is prioritize those when those people are available, so that we can play them together, stream together, blah blah blah, so on and so forth, so that we can do the multiplayer content. That's great and all. Cult of the Lamb is a different beast, because Cult of the Lamb changes if you've got Twitch affiliation. Because the audience can change the gameplay. That would be such a great game to play for the first time with a live audience, which restricts the time frame in which I can play it. So ultimately, pretty much all these games that are left, either I do not own, have not been released, or I actually will get a better result from live streaming than from playing. And then, of course, Silent Hill and Legacy of Kain, they are not computer games. I do not own the respective console. So if I am to play them, I need to play them at somebody else's house, and I would not be streaming them to begin with. So again, they are probably better for me to do as a Let's Play. As much as they would be enjoyable to play, it's probably going to be Let's Play material. So yeah, pretty much the only thing that I can actually do now is Strange Horticulture, and that's it. So instead, because as I said, I am absolutely going to keep playing Strange Horticulture. I absolutely love that game. I can't spend I mean, I can spend time playing Strange Horticulture, but I am better off spending the next few days, instead of streaming this content, is either streaming other content that I can do whenever I want, or watching those Let's Plays, which I would not be streaming that. I would just be sitting down and watching it. So, I'm going to take a little bit of time out to plan what I'm going to be doing with the streams in the future. I have some ideas of what I can do and stream, but this might actually be more or less the end of my thesis streaming. As I said, I will still stream Strange Horticulture, but unless I find some other games to stream that is more beneficial for me to play than to Let's Play, which largely is definitely going to be something like is it over 15 hours of game? Like, if it is over 15 hours of quote-unquote expected playtime, assuming that you're at least competent or good at the game, then that might be a cutoff point for me, especially if it's single player. If it's multiplayer, maybe a different story, but single player probably means I'm better off doing a Let's Play. So yeah, that's it, I guess. I'm gonna throw this open to you, of course. If there are ever any games that you want to watch me play, even from this list or from anywhere else, yeah, sure, throw it at me. I'd love to play games that have been requested. If you have ideas for other Lovecraftian games that aren't anywhere on this, on any of these lists, if you know of another game that I have not pulled up, then absolutely throw it at me. If I will probably play it, or it'll enter the same box as the rest of these, but at least knowing that the game exists allows me to research it and decide what to do with it. But for the time being, I'm going to jump offline, plan the future of the streaming, And either I won't stream for a while because I'll be too busy watching the Let's Plays, or I will stream, but it probably won't be related to my thesis. It actually might just be relaxing and having some fun. Or I might do something else entirely, who knows? We absolutely will see. In the meantime, I will continue streaming Strange Horticulture as I said, but it's going to be a much more relaxed pace. And it may be less frequent because I have other things that I need to put attention on as well. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Thank you for partaking in the thesis in whatever capacity you have, whether it's been answering the survey, watching the streams, directly interacting with me during the streams. I will make another video in future saying what the future of these streams are. That may or may not end up over on YouTube. On YouTube, I may just dive straight into whatever the new thing is. But I will give to anybody who is continually watching, I will, and has joined me on Twitch, I will give you a brief of what I'm thinking of doing going forwards. But in the meantime, please have a lovely whatever time it is for you, and I will see you on the next stream, whenever it is. Farewell.